You look good, Chris. You look good.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Space Between live stream. We're revealing the new Cerulean Dreams variant cover by Cindy Law featuring Logan from Destiny, New York. And we're also just talking. We were talking about some interesting Kickstarter things before going live. Just for those keying in for the giveaway, giveaway is going to be in about 7 minutes from now. And then I'm going to put the cover live as an add-on on Kickstarter at 8:45 in about 13 minutes from now. And first, though, I'm going to pop this over here. I want to reveal the cover to you guys. For those who don't know, though, very quick, Cerulean Dreams, it's our first ever one-shot single-issue comic on Kickstarter for 7 years now. I've been doing this since 2016. We've been doing just graphic novels. And that's my main goal, is to produce long-form content. But it's fun to do single issues, too. It's fun to do full color. And this year, we're kind of changing things up and trying new things. I'm going to be doing a trading card game campaign, a plushie campaign, single issues, and, of course, the normal graphic novels. So single issues allows you to do more covers. You know, it's a smaller product, and instead of a lot of collectible merch like prints, buttons, pins, with this, we're just offering more covers. You know, collectors love to have a set of single issue covers, and we have great artists who, with the graphic novels, you know, there's a certain amount of slots for covers on a graphic novel. To me, I don't really want to go past 3 variant covers for a graphic novel. That's my kind of top out there. Hey, and there's one of our variants. That is the Ivan Tao variant for Cerulean Dreams. We have that as a regular and a metal. But I'm going to debut right now the Cindy Law add-on only cover for Cerulean Dreams. This is our first time working with Cindy Law. I actually have a story about how Mr. Armin introduced us there. But first,
That's right.
This is the cover for Cerulean Dreams, the new Logan McBride from Destiny, New York cover. I'll see if I can zoom in a bit. Yep. I'll make it a bit bigger there. Yeah, this is sick. You know,
beautiful artwork.
I love this artist so much. You know, Armin showed me. It was a print, right, Armin?
Yep.
Yeah. You did a print with Cindy on Lunar Smoke. It was right, correct?
Correct.
And it was a crossover with Tristan's Alice campaign.
Yes. Tristan Vicks, Alicia Carter.
Yeah. And it was sick. You know, I've been keying into a lot of what Armin does, and I'm always interested to see new artists. And this was, to me, Cindy really nailed Armin's character in a way that stayed true to the character while also bringing in her own style in a very interesting way. I'll introduce the panel here too in one sec, but just I want to appreciate Cindy's debut for Space Between really quick. And yeah, I saw Cindy's art and I was immediately envisioning how she would draw our characters. And we entered into a 12 image deal. We're doing trading cards, covers, all in the next 6 months. It's all going to be produced ahead of time. So the next 2 years, it's going to be a lot of Cindy art for Space Between. And this is the first one.
Wow.
I cannot wait to show you guys more of these. I have one coming in too. I'm going to be doing the Zenoscope VIP New Orleans convention. That's going to have a trading card from Cindy featuring our character Meadow cosplaying as Zenoscope's character Mystere. And it's so sick. But here is Cindy's cover for Cerulean Dreams. It will be live for you to pick up on Kickstarter in 8 minutes from now. And we'll do the giveaway in 3 minutes. But first, before the giveaway, let's introduce everyone here. I want to go down the line. I'm Pat Shand. I am the writer and creator of Cerulean Dreams. This comic features 3 stories: a full-color Destiny, New York, a full-color Smoke We See the Future, and a full-color Afterglow. That Afterglow story is co-written by my boy Jeff Massey, who I hope can show up, but if he can't, it's all good. And Chris, take it away.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Smiley Chris. I've known Pat many years, and we've worked on a lot of movies and short films and certain things together in the past. We've made music together, and I really believe in what Pat's doing. I think it's awesome, and I'm here to support the team. And I got some ideas of my own for the upcoming year that I want to pitch to Pat pretty soon.
Yeah, man.
It's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
If you want to meet Chris too, Chris is going to be doing a con with me. It's going to be a Boston Wicked Comic Con in April.
Yeah. Good times ahead. Good times ahead.
I am the newest Space Between talent scout, as you have just heard Pat say. You know what I'm saying? Pat saw the talent that I was
talent scout,
and now bright futures ahead. Bright futures ahead. I really like this cover. It feels the dreamlike essence we were going for, and then I even wore my dream-like Cerulean Dreams called tank top today, just for you. Just for you. But yeah, I'm supporting supporting Pat in any way I can. He knows that.
I actually wore my pineapple shirt in honor of your selection of Cindy here, because this was the first time that you tried to jock my style at a convention. I wore this shit, and the next day you were pineappled out, dude.
I'm Patrick, despite what the name says. Pat recently helped me to great success with my own Kickstarter for Don't Avert Your Eyes, kind of a very adult book that we weren't sure how it was going to do. And Pat really ushered it to far greater heights than I anticipated. So I'm deeply indebted to him, and that's why he has chained me to this live stream.
And Stokes is back.
I'm back. Yeah, I can't stay long. I just want to pop in and say, congrats on the. I'm sure it got funded already, right?
Oh yeah.
One day.
691. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just want to say congratulations. I got to go. I'm trying to clean up the house right now and be productive ahead of my campaign. So congratulations. Good to see you. Nice to meet you, Chris. Hey,
nice to meet you, Stokes.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Stokes. When you do go, pop into the comments and leave the link to your pre-launch page. Okay.
What is this on? This is on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Can you send me the link to your YouTube?
Yeah. And I have some comments I'm gonna highlight here as well as we go along. But now it's 8:41. I am gonna get into the giveaway really quick. I'm gonna put up my number generator here. Okay. Let's see. All right, right now, and just for the backers watching, because we do have at this moment, let me just refresh. We have 353 backers, and this cover is a physical item. So if you hear your name, your number that is, and you are a digital backer, unfortunately, we're going to have to regenerate the number here. This is going to be shipped to you, so you need a shipping address on your Kickstarter and a shipping pledge to qualify. But if you are a physical backer, listen in. I have all your numbers and names here. Kickstarter doesn't let us say the names, though. So I'm going to enter in 1, 2. Hold on. That's a great question. Let me just highlight this really quick. Jeff, how do we find our number? I will actually go to one of my Kickstarters that I pledged to and show you exactly where to find it. So if you go to the campaign while logged in, you will see manage your pledge up top. If you click that, it should say, it doesn't say it anymore. Very good. Your receipt on Gmail will say it. What I will do is I'll say a first name, and I will contact you on Kickstarter while we're on live. And you can feel free, if you want to expose yourself, go in the comments and say it's you. But generally, I can't say a full name on here anymore because of Kickstarter's rules. But I'm trying to find out anywhere else you might be able to see it. But I know that your receipt should say it. If you go to your email, the email that Kickstarter sent you will have the number. But I will be sure to message you right away, and I'll have a link to the stream in that message. Let me just copy this real quick to make sure that you can chime in live that you are one of the winners. All right, so we have 353 baggers at the moment. So I'm going to pop up my window here. I'm going to stop presenting Cindy really quick, and I'm going to present the Kickstarter screen. Share screen. Google Chrome tab. Number randomizer. So we all see it here. I will zoom in really quick. Type in, I'll just refresh one more time just in case anyone else backed. We have 353 backers still. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 53. All right.
Wait. Did you say what the giveaway was, or is that after you?
It's this cover, the Cindy cover.
Okay.
What do you mean you're gonna give? Oh, you're just gonna give away the cover?
Hey, what do you mean? What do I mean? You know? Yeah. So it's on the Kickstarter in 1 minute for anyone who wants to buy it. It's gonna be $30.
Okay.
But 5 backers get it for free right now. I'm gonna generate the first one right here. All right. Backer 66 is our first winner. Let me just see if there's a first name that I can say. The first backer is a physical backer, and their name is Cassie. So I'm gonna say, hey, you won our Cindy Law variant for free. All right, so Cassie is our first winner. I'm gonna go to the next one. 1 to 353. Any of these numbers can pop up. The next winner is 319. So that backer is a physical backer. This is great. This backer's name is just some letters. I can't say because that's the full username. I'm messaging them right now. Boom. All right. Charlie says, damn it. And hey, Charlie, after this part, please feel free to leave a link for your campaign as well, because Charlie has a campaign live right now too. So that's 2 winners. Winner 3 is 346. This backer is, I actually know this person. This is Gary of Rentnarb Studios Comics. I feel comfortable saying that because Gary always talks about supporting. So boom, Gary is our 3rd winner. Winner number 4, 142. Backer 142 is a physical backer. This is Matthew. Boom. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to be generous here. If I generate the next number and it is a physical backer and we had no awkward moments where a digital backer gets kind of unfortunately shafted by the system, I'm going to generate a 6th number and give away a 6th copy of this book. All right. So this is potentially our last winner, potentially our second to last. 228. Let's see. Fingers crossed for you guys. This is a digital backer. This is a digital backer. Tim, I'm sorry. I'll give it one more shot. If this one is physical, I'll still do one more. All right, 347. This backer is digital. Okay. So I'll generate one more.
No sixth cover giveaway. You know.
I don't think so. We'll take a vote. Backer 2 is Lauren, and Lauren pledged for all 4 covers. So now gets a 5th one for free. Boom. So let's take a vote. Should I give a 6th cover away still, even though that idea didn't work?
Yes.
Yeah.
I say no. Wow, okay.
Okay, so we have 2-1. Armin's a hater, dude. All right, so one more winner. Here we go. 245. Oh, 245. Scott is our 6th winner. Boom. There we go. There we go. Thank you everyone who pledged. I want to keep doing for the single issues, because the graphic novels, it makes it kind of hard to give things away when they're so heavy to ship. But the single issues, I am very excited and happy to give these away. I think that as we do more single issues, I'm going to try to get more creative too with how we do giveaways. I'll do trading cards. I'll do more variant covers, and just keep it fresh, keep it interesting. All right. Before we were live, we were talking about Kickstarter. So Patrick had an interesting question about things that have been, going on in the they've been spoken about. They're the discourse, right?
So I actually have Pat, whenever we talk, I realize I've got dozens of questions for you. But let's start with this one. Rumor is we're in the midst of a recession, and that crowdfunders are going to starve to death. You're going to be the first. You're going to be the first to die. You're going to. It's a famine. Is there any truth to that statement?
Is there any truth to the crowdfunding famine? I don't think so, and I'll explain why. Because I think that, of course, a recession impacts everything, but it doesn't mean that certain things won't be impacted worse. So I understand the fear of it. I think that there is this idea that crowdfunding is sort of a gift to creators, that it isn't really buying a book, it's donation. That isn't the truth. This is my 27th campaign, right? Campaign number 1, a lot of family and friends. Campaign number 2, the vibe was, oh, you're doing it again. And then campaign 3, 4, 5, 27, family and friends are gone for the most part. It's the friends who are on board are the ones who are like on the team. But the donations really stop when you start doing it consistently. When you make crowdfunding part of what you do, it becomes a relationship between creator and consumer that is unlike anything else in publishing. And now I'll compare it to this. Right now, if you look at podcasts, no matter what anyone thinks of him, Joe Rogan's podcast is bigger than any talk show, period. Right? That's a podcast. Most big podcasts, let me think of top 10 podcasts. Office Talk, right? The one with Pam and I forget who from The Office. That's a podcast about a show that's been off air for years, bigger than any talk show. The true crime stuff, bigger than any talk show, bigger than these Forensic Files, because they are the readers, the listeners hear it as a host talking directly to them, forming a relationship, a bond. And crowdfunding to me is comics version of that. It's creators taking control of the content and removing all of the needless in between, and having an actual established rapport with backers. I value the idea that when I'm funding, right, I'll generally it fulfilling is seen as an annoyance. I always talk to creators, and they hate to pack, they hate to bring to the post office, and I get it. It's physically tasking. But while I'm doing it, I'll see a name that I've seen 20 times before, and I'll be struck with this sense of connection to this person. Like, wow, this person, I've been sending books to them for years. I feel like I'm sending this person like an update on my life through my work, and that is uncommon. I mean, there's nothing else in comics that's like that for either a reader or creator. So I think that if anything, the direct market's going to suffer, and we are already seeing it suffering. That is comic shops. I feel bad for comic shops who are already kind of on the edge and going into a recession, kind of unsure if they're going to make it. I know the pandemic was really good for live stream publishers who took advantage of selling this way. It was strong for crowdfunding. not strong for brick and mortar, not strong for publishers who are locked into these systems. So those publishers who haven't looked into crowdfunding, they might have a hard time. Crowdfunding, I don't think so.
Now, what you said is what kept me skeptical of crowdfunding for so long. I always thought, and you tell me how you feel about this, I always thought I want to compete in the biggest pool possible against I just want to be among the conversation and be among the competition. And I feel like now, having experienced crowdfunding, because what you mentioned, having a connection is kind of, coming from music, that's what you're supposed to want. And but I always kind of rejected that. I always said, no, if I kill a bunch of people tomorrow, I still want people to be able to say, it doesn't matter that this dude's cool or not. I don't want people to buy my shit because I'm cool. You know what I mean? I want people to buy my shit because they get something out of it. Right.
Oh yeah.
And that's always what kind of pushed me away from crowdfunding. I always said, I don't want a personal relationship. I just want my work to stand on its own merits or whatever. But what I will say now, having experienced it, is when people are interested in your work, there's nothing, you shouldn't push them away simply because they're interested in your work. Now, whatever word you want to use fan, you want to use reader, you want it, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just, there is nothing wrong with the idea that someone would be interested in following you. Right. And that just took me a long time to put together because I was always, for lack of a better word, I was always stinky about it. You know what I mean?
I do. And I think that I understand why too. I have noticed though, in general, industries really gravitate toward a creator kind of naturally rising above the industry and becoming their own thing. You're in music, you have seen the idea of like a signed band to a major label go from, the obvious thing that you want to now if a major backed band or a rapper comes out, people call them an industry plant, they want this like organic person to come out of nowhere, to have no real network of support besides the fans. They want to feel like they've built someone up. And I get it, I think that the closest thing that we have to that is crowdfunding in comics. And I mean, we've also come from an era where publishers they were so scared of crowdfunding. I was talking about this on whose stream was it? It was Will Allred and Kevin Joseph talking about, I don't know if you guys remember, but Armin looks so fucking scary right now, dude. What is this, bro?
I'm in town, man. What are you talking
about? Archie Comics, right? Years back, they were one of the first publishers, and they were brave for fucking 5 minutes to do Kickstarters. Like they announced, to my memory, 3. They announced Jughead. They announced, I think, Betty and Veronica and Archie. Mark waited on Archie for some reason. And they did, they were going to do 3 Kickstarter campaigns, 1 for each book. And they were eaten alive. It was a time when Kickstarter was looked at as this thing that is, what I was talking about before, donations. This sort of a way for creators who couldn't get their book published in the mainstream to go here as a second resort. That to me is gone. And Archie looked at that backlash and they were like, not doing this. And they backed out of it. They really bent over for it. And that scared publishers off for years now. But now we see Vault, we see Black Mass now. We see all these publishers. Dynamite goes hard on Kickstarter. They're all coming to Kickstarter, and you hear zero backlash, none, because the arena has changed. People see that. I mean, what I'm doing on Kickstarter, it's publishing. Period. I look at what I do. I'm as much of a publisher by myself as, say, a scout, a black mask. You know,
That's a fact. Yeah.
yeah.
Pat, I don't mean to throw shade at any publisher, but you're more of a publisher than some publishers.
No, I mean, for sure. And that's, you know, that idea that creators have been on this platform and enriching it for years and building their brand for years. Now everyone's like, oh, I see it now. But being someone like, I remember I was looking at Kickstarter in 2011 because I saw Zenescope go in there early. Everyone always looks at Zenescope and they don't really understand the long game. Bro, Zenescope had, I think, a $90,000 Kickstarter in 2011. I mean,
wow.
Or 2012. One of those. But that's really ahead of the game. And I've been looking to the platform ever since. My first one was 2016. And yeah, man, I'm just glad that you're on board because, you know, you're a strong creator. And I think that the more creators who are creating works as potent as you and as honest as you are, that really enriches the platform. And it gets people away from the idea. And this idea hasn't been true for a long time, but it gets distance from the idea that Kickstarter books are not as good as books that you would find on the shelf in the comic shop. I think quite the opposite.
Yeah, I don't want to hijack this conversation. I'm sorry, to the other gentleman. I'll let you jump in, please. Talk over me. I have a bad habit of filibustering on streams. But I wanted to talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Please, yeah.
There's another thing that turned me off from crowdfunding originally was some people love a scene, right? And they love to them, that's a navigable situation that they understand how a scene works so they can play it to their advantage.
Yes.
Or they just like the camaraderie and it actually means something to them. But for myself, I see a lot of scenes as, for lack of, you know, to use a 2020s word, it's very toxic, right? Like it's about in-group and out-group dynamics that I couldn't give a shit about. I'm trying to make good things, right? And it turned me off from Kickstarter for a long time because when I would see people attacked on Kickstarter, you know, we don't want an affiliation with this creator, so we're going to tank his campaign or whatever it was. I would always say, like, this is not the direction. That's too much community, for lack of a better phrase. Like, right? Like it's I don't like, if your community can form a mob, I'm not with it. Right. And if you are reliant on kind of this web of we're all giving each other money, you know what I mean? Like that is what I wanted to avoid at all costs. Like no disrespect to the creators who are putting out good books that are funded primarily by other creators. God bless you if you're doing good work. That's all that matters to me. But for myself, I didn't want it to be this type of quid pro quo with other creators that I see out there. You know what I mean? I couldn't handle it. And I'm glad that with the campaign that we did together, it seems like we really circumvented that. It seems like there's a lot of, and you know, this is my experience in the more adult books, but maybe it carries over to everything, is there's a lot of people who don't care about the bullshit. You know what I mean? They just want something that appeals to them, makes sense to them as a reader. And I'm glad that we got to reach that person. But maybe you could just say for the people, because I'm sure that a lot of people who are going to watch this are interested in not just your work, but interested in what you know about crowdfunding, right?
100%. Yeah.
So if you could just please reiterate to people that you don't need this good old boy or cool guy network at all. You know, I mean, that's maybe what crowdfunding does better than any other space, is that it circumvents that. So I think embracing that when you don't need to is just headache for you. Don't do it.
It's very true. There are, in Kickstarter, there are clicks, of course. You know, there's clicks within clicks within clicks. And there are islands. There are guys who do their own thing. And they don't operate within these clicks at all, and they still get support, you know? As you said, there are some of the creators who, you know, especially, and absolutely no negativity toward them, but the creators who really, and not, this is more publishers, the publishers who pick hot names in the direct market comics, and they create these anthologies. Those exist really based on people supporting them for exchanges of likes, largely. So that is true. Those are there, but I mean, these days I back what I like. I know there's a lot of push for like back for back, but that to me is also no different than the creators who are on Twitter begging other creators to call comic shops like it's 1968 and give them a code, to pre-order a book that's coming out in 3 months. It's that version of that is the back for back on Kickstarter. What I think is important though for marketing yourself is looking as if you are somewhat active on the platform by at least not having zero backed next to your name. It shows you as a creator and it says number launched, number backed. And I think that it's such a small thing, but showing that you back some campaigns just shows an interest in the arts, even less community, but it's marketing yourself as far as showing that you're part of appreciating comics like the reader is, and they'll see themselves in you in that way. But I definitely don't go on Kickstarter and think, oh, this is a new campaign by this creator who I don't know them, I don't like them, but they back my stuff, so I had to do this. I don't feel that way at all, And I think that there is that kind of impression that that's how you market yourself on Kickstarter and how you build community. But the truth is that you build community the same way you do on Kickstarter as you do in the DM, as you do at conventions, as you do in any other job. You make connections, and the more genuine the connection, the more fruitful that connection might be for you. I mean, Patrick, we did the Kickstarter together, and you have you referred me for a work for hire gig that has been great for me. And I bring up your name when people ask about creators who I'm interested in. And the same is true for Armin and Chris. I'm sure that if you were writing comics, the same is true. We are going to be doing some stuff together as well this year, though. So I'm very interested to see how you're going to begin to exist in this sphere as well. But no, it's true. There's you don't have to rely on that sort of patting the back of creators who you perceive to be your peer or even above you to exist. You really can just exist and do your own thing on Kickstarter as long as the content is good and catches eyes.
And do you think anybody could break in?
I do. That's before we started. Patrick made a joke about how creators like creators like us. We often, when we're giving feedback, I often give advice about Kickstarter on Twitter, and I'll always get the bitter comment, oh, the reason that you're able to fund is because of your history doing this comic, because you are on Kickstarter doing this. And I'm just saying, I have seen campaigns with 0 other campaigns created. It's the creator's first campaign, and it takes off because it's a good idea. The art is beautiful. The project image stands out, and they market it very well. You can be an overnight success on Kickstarter if you do the work. That sort of defeatist, oh, people only succeed when they have already succeeded is so, it's mind-numbing that someone thinks that way, because what the fuck was I doing before I succeeded? Yeah. I didn't grow up writing comics. I always wanted to write. I practiced. I wrote horrible fan fiction for a long time, and then I started to work on novels and then plays. I got a chance when I started to pitch myself around, and anybody can, bro, the way that I found Zenescope was crazy. My friend, Jay, he was missing an order from Zenescope's store, and he wrote to the website, and he got an email back from the company. And the email form, I can't expose it, but there was a certain pattern to the form where you can like figure out someone's email by looking at their name and how it's like broken up and the email pattern. So he messaged me, Pat, why don't you email Ralph Tedesco, the editor-in-chief, using this pattern? Just try and see if it works. And I tried it and it worked. And I had a gig almost instantly. And now it's 12 years later, and Ralph is one of my best friends in the world. And that happened because my friend had a problem with his website order. You know, I just took advantage of a good situation. Anybody can do it. Really, anyone, if you put in hard work, talent, and you're driven, bro, anyone can do it. It's true.
So,
and Pat, like when you come up with like an idea for a book, like do you get obsessed with it when you're writing?
Sometimes,
like, do you have a hard time getting off your mind or whatnot?
Yeah. There are books though that I care so much about that when I go to write it, there's more pressure when I haven't started yet. And it'll be less of a drive to write it and more that the idea of going in and worrying about it living up to what I've done before might be kind of stressful for me. But the truth is, and this is also advice that I love to give. The hardest part about writing is when you're thinking about writing but not doing it and just putting it off and stressing yourself out. Go in, start moving your fingers on the keyboard, and the shit will come to you, especially if you've been doing it for years, you know? So I do think about it a lot. Yeah.
Going back to this this kind of defeatist attitude I see among creators, I worked a restaurant job years ago with a fella who was washing dishes, who had a film degree and was just so bitter that it hadn't amounted to anything, right? And it was so obvious that his bitterness was a major hurdle. Now, he might have been a no talent, right? But like, there's plenty of people with no talent that are hired for things every day of their lives. You know what I mean? So like, but it was obvious that he was projecting this type of like, well, I couldn't do that because other people have advantages I don't have, blah, 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 blah. And I just, and you know, this was now 20 years ago, but I felt like such like a weird, like a revulsion because I was like, oh, God damn, I hope I've never liked this, but also like a pity, right? Because it's like, yo, this dude's not going to get anywhere until he gets out of his way. And I see some, Pat, this is not to shit on the people that follow you, but I see some of the people that respond to you on Twitter when you do talk about crowdfunding. Yeah. And I think you do a good job of making yourself clear, but just in case any of them are watching here, you don't have a resume until you do. You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. Just, I really find that whole, and comics seems to have this more than a lot of fields, is just a lot of people who consuming the thing, wish that they were doing the thing, angry that they're not doing the thing, right? So just get past that. The barrier to entry is low. The barrier to success is high, but that's in anything. The barrier to entry is really low. And, you know, there's also some need for self-examination in that. Like the people that fail at the thing, I see a lot of people. I saw a tragic one the other day where somebody was showing really substandard art and was couldn't see the difference between that and the stuff that was really succeeding.
Yep.
And now to that person, I don't know what can be done, right? Like I don't have a solution necessarily for that person, but like some self-examination of saying, what could we, like my last image book didn't do as well as the one before that, right? So the artist and I just had like a really, you know, self-effacing, brutal conversation the other day. Like, where did we fail, right? Instead of blaming the reader or blaming the retailer, because those things aren't changing for me. You know what I mean? So how could you win with what's in front of you? And with crowdfunding, this is not to say it's easier than anything. There's just less gatekeeping. So in that respect, it is easier. So to anybody watching this right now, I just think that Pat is a good example of this. Do we really think that you murdered it on Kickstarter on your Zenescope resume alone? No, you know what I mean? No, that's not it. So just a thing to consider, because I see it too much online. I see too much of that defeatist or like angry that other people are successful. They must be doing something shady because how could they be successful? It's like, stop. Like I lived in Hollywood for a while, and you meet so many people that are like, well, I can't have this because I'm not willing to fillet the, and it's like, yeah, listen, I hear that. All that's real. You got to kiss a lot of asses sometimes if that's the infrastructure that you want to be part of. But there's other ways to get your vision to reality. You know what I mean? If you're not into the ass kissing, you don't have to do the ass kissing.
No, it's true. And that's the thing that I think about a lot is how, because I'm very invested in, the story of how I did this. That being that I feel that I have done a great job taking advantage of opportunities that I made myself and elevating myself in those opportunities so that when I take my next step, it's going to be an easier transition. I have heard people think that the only reason that I had early success that I then built on crowdfunding was because of my Zenescope work, as you said. And I think two things. I wish that I could communicate to these backers without being misinterpreted how difficult it was to even get people outside of Zenescope's fan base to understand what I was doing at Zenescope, period. I'll be talking to publishers. I met with, I'll say it, IDW, Boom Studios, and both told me that I would have been better off going in with no credits, even though I had written years of a shared universe. I wrote 20 issues on Charmed, an established license. I felt like I was trained in every facet of work for hire comics. Zenescope has fantasy, superhero, horror. It's a shared universe. They have their own standalone titles too. And what people don't realize is that the books are great. They are written writer's room style in a room with great writers, professionals, and people see the covers and they have this really warped perception. And those are just the covers C. The cover A and B. Cover A is an iconic cover. Cover B is a narrative cover. And people just don't get it. So that's one thing, that people who think that I built only off my Zenescope success, they don't realize how difficult it was to even break out of that fan base and to expand and find my own readership who were interested in what I was doing outside of Zenescope. That was difficult in and of itself. And two, my immediate thought is when I'm giving advice and someone who wants to be doing what I'm doing says that I got what I am where I am because of what I did at Zenescope, my thought is, okay, so that's step one for you, bitch. Do what I did to get that gig. And then use that to get this, it's really self-explanatory. I've made it very clear how I got where I am. And I was friendly. I was on time. I had good ideas that publishers liked. And largely when I was doing work for hire, and the editors disagreed with an idea I had, largely I was cool with it. There was, and I'll say this now because it's been years, I had a 39 issue run on Zenescope's Robin Hood, and I was the first person to write her, and until the end of my run, I was the only person to write her. And I felt a lot of almost creative ownership over the run that I had put together. And the truth is that was misplaced because I had no literal ownership. That was a company's IP. And while building my own creation there, I was also serving a company's vision and building what has become one of, not one of, that's their biggest title. Since leaving, Joe Bruscia, who's the president of Zenescope, He owns the company, and he has been doing a Robin Hood run. So I look at that and I'm like, oh, so like, he had me on Robin, and that was cool. But Joe also loves Robin Hood in his own way, and he has his own ideas for her. So of course, I was probably so fucking annoying when I got feedback and notes and didn't want to do them, and I did them. I did. But I had that tension there because, and I've spoken to Joe about this, and he totally understands. At the time, I didn't also have this, right? I didn't have Destiny New York. I didn't have my creator-owned visions that I wanted to do my way. And now that I do have those, I'm able to be an even better partner on work-for-hire projects. And being that good partner, that is how you get those gigs. That's how you stay getting those gigs. I think that people undervalue how important it is when you're entering into comics and you're trying to get work for hire to be just fucking fun to be around and fun to work with, and that's hard advice to give. And people do want to kind of skip to the end, but I think it is important to build that base though.
Skipping to the end, very popular.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, skipping to the end and not really doing the work. Like, I mean, just like you said, there are projects out there where the art isn't up to par with what you see on the platform and even in comics as a whole, right? So the question is, how do you train your eye to see when art is excellent? And the answer is simply hard work, time, and research. I look back to my early days because I give that advice majorly, because the most important thing you could do, bar none, on Kickstarter is to have step one, a beautiful project image. Step one. Step two, you click it and they see more gorgeous art. And that's really step 1 and 2. There's a lot more, but those are so important. I mean, for your campaign, Patrick, I went back and forth over 2 covers, and I'm happy with the one that we ended up on as far as the thumbnail. Kickstarter almost wouldn't let us do it. They had a weird misinterpretation of a word that we used. But it all worked out, and that campaign, I believe, was, in my mind, the best version of what that campaign could have done. It was Black Mask's first campaign, and great interior artist, great covers, great writer, great co-creator. Turned out amazing. And you and I are the ones who looked and booked those artists. However, we've been doing this shit for years. Creators are gonna have to develop that eye. I look back to my early days, bro. I was making the worst suggestions to Ralph at Zenescope for interior artists. I would see someone who did like a beautiful single image and be like, yo, you should get them to do a full sequential page, and Ralph would be like, Shan, no, we don't have time to even talk about this. No. And I'd be like, why wouldn't you hear me out? And I'll look back, and now I know, because it would have never worked.
Yeah. It's because he had experience. Sure.
Yeah, he had experience, and he could see that. And even now, like, that's such a thing to train yourself to do, is to look at sequentials, look at a single image, and determine your ability to see what the artist is going to be best at for you. There are some artists who love doing covers, who I'll look at it and I'll be like, they can't do sequentials, The sequentials are fine, but the covers are just so much better, and eventually they'll probably just do covers.
100%, that sort of eye is not something that you get overnight, and people have to learn. The thing that everybody, I mean, literally everybody, myself included, everybody believes that they've got some plot or plan to skip ahead in line. That they can shave years off of the thing that takes everybody else 10. They can do it. They just I can do it in 5 because I'm smarter than all those people. Yeah. You might be luckier than all those people, and it may happen, but there's very little chance that you're smarter than those people.
I can do it in 2. I can do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Pat knows.
So these things, everything takes more time than you anticipate. It's like putting in an addition on your home. You know what I mean? Talk to somebody that's putting an addition on their home. The contractor will quote them for 6 weeks or whatever. It takes half a year. And everything just takes longer, is more money, which is the next conversation I want to have, because I see a lot of people in that sort of space of people that are grumbling and feel like I'm locked out of a thing. Yeah. They talk about the startup capital and how they don't have it. And here would be my message to that person. You fellas may disagree, is I guess then you're going to have to wait until you do. And what I mean by that is, just like all things in life, if you'd like a Maserati, you're going to have to start saving now. If you'd like a brilliant interior artist and you're not a hot property, so that person is not convinced that the campaign will be strong enough or whatever it is, and you're just saying, hey, let's do a page rate. We can work out back end if that's what you want, whatever. But if you're doing a page rate, here's your options. It's just like on the wall of every tattoo shop, we got fast and good, but not cheap, cheap and good, but not fast, et cetera, right? And just to that person, particularly the ones that are saying, why can't I use AI? I can't afford an artist.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about AI. It's a larger conversation. I feel like I haven't seen a single good take on it yet. But on either side of the conversation, I haven't seen a single good take. But this idea that I can't make the bare minimum to do a thing, but I should still do a thing. Well, I'm sorry, you can't play electric guitar if you have neither a guitar nor an amp. You know what I mean? Like it's a problem. So just to that person, I'm confident. I have faith in everybody watching this that you can make $2,000. I believe in you that over time, over the course of 4 years, you can sock away $2,000, but beg, borrowing, or steal, or crime, or whatever it is. And if you can get $2,000, you can make a thin, perhaps not great, perhaps not color, perhaps not. You can make a comic book. If you have $4,000, you can make a decent comic book, and if you have $10,000, you can make a great comic book, assuming you're great. But I just wanted to address this because I see people do this. I'm undercapitalized. We all are. You know what I mean? But just hit the bare minimum by hard work and then take it from there and be ready to lose. That's another thing.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Pat is not short on capital.
Well, here's the thing, though. All of the money that I make on Kickstarter so far, I've put that back into Kickstarter because here's something that has been a burden for me. While producing graphic novels, my go-to has been this. Destiny New York is between 150 to 200 pages every year, each volume. The other volumes are between 60 to 90 pages. That is a lot. And when I first started doing this, I could not afford to really go into full production on these books before the Kickstarter. I would produce between maybe 5 to 8, 9, 10 pages at the most. And I would commission covers and prints. And these were all done work for hire, all paid out in advance. I never have people wait for the Kickstarter to get paid. Because I've been left waiting by publishers, and I never want to do that. So I would have to spend so much time after the Kickstarter producing the book. People would back a Kickstarter and they would get their book about a year and a half later because it's a full graphic novel. And I couldn't start until the Kickstarter was done.
Right.
And then Thirsty and Cheeky happened. And I was able to put a full year of books into production. So now, every time I kickstart, I'm getting closer and closer to when the campaign ends, the book goes to print. So Cerulean Dreams is a one-shot. When the campaign ends, unless something happens and one of the colorists is struck down by God, when the campaign ends, we go to print. the other books now, from Cheeky and on, everything I've kickstarted has been about 50 to 60% done when we kickstart, compared to 5%. And by this time next year, I tend to think we'll lean toward 90% done. And I worked my way up toward that. It took me a long time to get there because I was just doing like what you said, you know, I was saving money on my own and I was grinding, you know. People ask me now how I do so much, and the truth is, yeah, I do a lot. I do more than I even talk about. I have ghostwriting gigs that would fucking shock people. But when I was working at Zenoscope, I said this on the last stream. This is not a flex. This is too much. I would wake up at 2:00 in the morning. At the time, I was skinnier. I would go to Planet Fitness, right? And then by 4, I would open Starbucks, work at Starbucks until 10, leave at 10, go to teach classes at college. In the office there, I would do a bit of writing. I would come back home and I would write more. At the time, I was writing between like 4 to 8 Zenoscope books per month.
Oh God!
And then I would just do it again. And I could have cut out maybe Starbucks or the teaching, but they helped me get a little bit of capital so I could pay people to do a few pages here and there. And I mean, at the time, I was doing anthologies, paying for those, and that wasn't the smartest thing, but still did it. And then later on, I would pay rates for pages for Kickstarters, and that's how I started out. It was hard, and I think that the people who aren't going in expecting it to be hard are doing themselves a disservice, because hard doesn't mean shouldn't do. Hard doesn't mean can't do. People are a lot more sturdy than they give themselves credit for. I think that anyone who puts themselves to task looks at themselves and asks, do you really want to do this? If the answer is yes, then you can fucking do it.
So, do you mind me getting some free game off of you with some more questions?
Yeah.
That's an inspiration, I have to say.
Can I ask something real quick? What is Armin's background?
That is the space between New Year's 2023 party.
This is my good friend
Yeah,
Shannon.
right here in this house.
Yep,
There's the table in the background.
That's at the house right there.
I mean, I hope I can. Well, we got plenty of these, right? They're doing like 5 of these a year, right?
I mean, I hope so. Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Real quick, your boy Armin, I sent him my preview link to go through, look through at it. You can leave a comment. He says, "Hey." That's the comment he leaves me.
Yo, bro,
Where'd you find this guy?
Bro, Armin, dude. All right, so Armin shows up at Chris's house for the party, and he knows the history of the house, like when it was.
I didn't even know the year it was built. He's like, "Oh, this one's built in 1951." Or yes,
He's a unique guy.
very astute. Very astute.
It's true.
That's right. Always come prepared, otherwise otherwise life will roll over you. You know.
It's true, man. It's true.
So here's a couple formats, and I'd like Pat, if you could tell me what you think their viability is, right?
Yeah.
Based on your experience. Okay. So how often does Destiny come out?
Destiny comes out at least once a year. Sometimes maybe about a year and 2 months to 3 months after the previous one.
Okay, so what is your confidence in the quarterly single issue format?
It's strong. And I mean, I know for a fact, if I switch Destiny New York to, 4 30 pages a year, I would make more money, right? But because I value the format of that one so much and the reader's experience, that one I keep as is, but I am going to be going hard on what you're saying, single issues, The only thing is, Kickstarter currently allows you only to have one campaign live at once. So what it does is, say you do a single issue series, you do 4 issues per year. It's 4 months of the year. You only have a certain amount of months, and if you're going live every month, that's still what, 3 series that you could do per year. That is less than I want to do personally. But yeah.
So, because here's some things I'm considering. Quarterly, but quarterly, then collect, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another idea, which is just year ones, year twos. So yearbooks of non-related series, right? So let's say that I've got multiple series that have the same type of spirit to them, but are different series, different artists, etc. Collecting those with a year 1, year 2 sort of format at the end of each year, and then not having to rely as heavily on like a quarterly format for a single artist, a quarterly format for a single property, right?
Yeah.
So that's another idea. And then the third idea, and this is not one that I've run by Image, but I don't imagine they would fight me on this. I have a thing that is relatively standalone issues, right? It's the same characters, connected, etc., but the issues are done in ones in most respects. Do you think there's any reason that creators won't do this in the future, to crowdfund single issue, use essentially any remaining monies to go to the DM to fund 2 more issues, right? Yeah. Let's say you make 30 or something like that, right? Like, so if you made 30, pay for an issue, have money sitting around for perhaps 2 issues, right? Something like that. Yeah. Go to the DM on a 4-issue series, and then include in the trade the single issue that you crowdfunded. Yeah. Now, as someone that has done this from every angle, is me double dipping low class? Are people going to shit on me?
Not at all. I think that it is much more common to double dip now. I think that, I look at crowdfunding first and take care of that readership first. But the truth is that I've helped publishers take books that they've crowdfunded to the DM. I've helped strategize how to do that. I think that if you're crowdfunding first, as long as you serve that readership first and make sure there's a path for them to continue the series no matter what, I think it's totally fine. And as far as the DM goes, there is, and it's so weird to me, but there is so little overlap between crowdfunding and the DM that most of your conversations about it will be people not knowing that it was on Kickstarter first. And then Kickstarter backers not knowing that it's also in the DM. There is crazy little overlap. I mean, I am the most standard comics industry media DM convention I do is Baltimore Comic-Con, because New York Comic-Con, that is everyone. That's media, that's celebrities, that's huge. Baltimore is the biggest comics specific con, and dude, at that convention, the most common conversation I had, because for those who follow my work in the comic shops, Destiny New York is in single issues through Black Mask. We are on through issues, I think, 12 now. So people can go to comic shops and subscribe and get 12 issues. That's all of volume 1, and that's 80% of volume 2. So these readers found my table at Baltimore, and they said, oh, volume 2 is done. Oh shit, volume 3, 4, 5, what the fuck? They had no idea. No idea. And meanwhile, if you go to my Twitter, all I do is market Destiny New York, and I've been doing it for years now. But the DM is so closed off to Kickstarter, to their fault, that it's shocking. So I think that servicing both audiences is very smart. I think that we're going to see publishers do it closer to the norm in the next few years. Oh, and I want to say too, we welcome back Stokes, and we have Richard Fairgray here as well. Guys, I tried to highlight some links, but I'm finding that people are not allowed to post links in the comments. So if you want to present your campaigns, I know both Stokes and Richard have pre-launch pages. So if you want to present, I'll pop your campaign into the visual over here as well.
I'll twist my arm.
I mean, mine's super fucking easy. It's kickrichard.com. Is my forever link to everything I do at this point, or every Kickstarter thing I do.
What you drinking, Richard?
Whiskey.
I didn't think he was a whiskey guy. I was just on with Lauren. I don't know if you know her, but she's great. You should look her up for do your campaign. She's phenomenal. Lauren, the neighborhood buy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I follow her. She's good.
She's lit.
We have Richard Octopus, a memoir of flailing this week, right? Or next week?
Yeah, it launches on Tuesday, next Tuesday. So it's covers an 18-month period of my life, 144 pages, 7 stories about major turning points from like a lot of divorce, suicide attempt, toxic friendships, a lot of sex clubs, drinking, moving to Hollywood, and trying not to turn into an octopus while I do it.
This on the 24th.
Get it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a campaign spotlight. So if you follow Cerulean Dreams and have pledged there, you will hear about this as well. And Stokes, if you want to show me yours as well.
I put it in
actually see it in the background there.
I get it. The elders go first. I understand.
Wait, I don't see yours. Hold on.
In the private chat.
Oh, Armin, you have a
fuck Armin.
A pre-launch as well?
Yeah, we're in pre-launch for next one.
All right, so I'm gonna do present Mr. Stokes.
Yeah.
Boom. Here you go. We have Intrusive Thoughts issue 1.
I need to add more to that pre-launch page. I'm looking at
Definitely.
No, yeah. So it's a horror mystery. It's about it's an orphan, and he's fucked up, man. He's got night terrors, he's got depression, and his sleep paralysis demon bites one of his classmates. So it's it's a mystery, kind of like a Sandman sort of Where the Wild Things Are mix, I would say.
I wonder if you could make friends with your sleep paralysis demon. That's not an aspect of the story, is it? It's like a very.
You got to read to find out.
That's salesmanship. Richard, how depressing is your book? Am I going to be sad if I read it?
No, I think everyone who's read it so far has said that they were enamored with the realness and that they wanted to give that version of me a hug, but they were delighted by the story. It's very uplifting. Like, it goes from my life being kind of shitty and me hating myself and being kind of a bad person to me moving to Hollywood and meeting a nice man and feeling pretty good about how the future will go. And so far it's gone well.
Richard, I lived in Hollywood for a few years. I did not know anybody had a good ending there. So that's
my favorite place in the world.
Yo, listen, my favorite place as well. I just lived on Lanewood for 2 years, right next to Hollywood High School, and I thought it was the funniest place I have ever. Like the citizen notifications that I would wake up to would be the funniest thing. I had knives pulled on me. I had to run a number of times, but not for families. You know what I mean? Like now that I'm with my girl and all that, and she has a child, I could not imagine living in Hollywood. But as a single dude with who can run pretty fast, I thought it was all right.
I just love it. I'm in like very very similar area. Crossroads of the World on Sunset.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, so I'm there. And the two big things that have happened recently is I witnessed someone holding a door closed while someone reached out the mail slot trying to stab them. It was such a beautiful adult version of holding someone by the forehead. And then here is the sad news. If you haven't been there for a while, the guy who looks exactly like Willie Nelson on Sunset Boulevard has died.
Oh, R.I.P. to that king.
I fucking love that dude. Like, I last time I saw him, because he was always kind of a trip, and like he was one of those, those people who you can talk to for like a little while before it gets too crazy. And one day I see him, and he's just like covered in gold, like so much gold. And I was like, "Hey Willie, where did you get all of that gold?" And he says, Stevie Wonder gave it to me. Since he got his vision back, he realized that it was ugly." And I was like, obviously, that's not true for a lot of reasons. But
It's
also,
a great answer, though.
Better,
Great
it's
answer.
better than any real story. He still
Great answer.
had the gold. Fucking love that guy.
Yeah, for people that haven't lived in Hollywood, it's very GTA because all of the crime is random and funny. So
There's so Crossroads is a historic landmark, but the developers really want to knock it down so they can put up more apartment buildings. And so we had to put in big security gates because I worked from like very early in the morning in my office there, and I kept catching like men in business suits shoving newspapers into mail slots inside my building and lighting them on fire.
wow.
Which doesn't happen most places.
No. It's the what do they call that? Insurance. You've got an insurance fire attempt every day. That's exciting.
Yeah, they tried to burn down the church too, but there were people living there at the time who stopped it. But see, I tell people about this, and they're like, "Shit, that sounds like an awful place." I'm like, "No, it's wonderful.
It's exciting.
Fun."
It's fun. Yeah.
Hey.
Sorry. Go on.
I was about to say I updated my pre-launch page, so I don't know. I got Pat here, so I figured I could ask him to look at it.
Yes, I will. But first, let's give Armin the floor really quick on
I guess.
Something already?
on Lunar Smoke. I will say, Armin, you are shoving so much marketing in here. Jesus Christ!
Respect.
Oh, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
In the dark.
What's to come? This is, of course, Lunar Smoke. Everybody's favorite space cow, and we'll be launching the next month with some huge surprises. And it'll be sometime next month. No date set yet, I believe, but sometime mid to end of February. Go follow. We got the best covers. Pat, you've seen all my covers. These are hands down the best covers I've ever had done.
That Cindy cover is great.
And it's because I got better at them. You know what I'm saying, Pat? Because of your infinite wisdom. You know what I'm saying, Pat?
What a kiss at.
Let's see Slug's page now.
I fixed it. It's not great, but I think it's better. I actually suck at this kind of shit.
No, I mean this kind of stuff is hard to learn, but now you at least have a lot more information on the comic here. You know, that's going to give people more of a tone here for sure. I mean, you and Armin are the two extremes. You know, you're talking just about story, and Armin's like full color, glow in the dark, metal. You know,
This shit is like, I don't like being bad at stuff. Like it physically hurts me to not be good at stuff. So I'm like dying on the inside. But we got to do it to get better.
By the way, we had Shannon Lee in the comments. So Shannon Lee is right here.
yes. Shannon says Armin's background image. You know,
He's a trick.
Pat, can you jump back on my one for 1 second?
yeah.
Thanks.
1 sec. What was your URL?
KickRichard.com.
There's no place I'd rather be than in between these two. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, you yourself?
That's right. That's right.
That's so weird.
That's the most narcissistic shit I've ever heard in my life.
We all do it.
Pat, you can post the sorry, go ahead.
All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure you were following it, Pat.
Oh yeah, bro, of course. I feel like I was like at least first 15.
No, I know. I'm fucking with you. I just thought it'd be funny to get mine back up on the screen again.
No, no, it's true. I mean, I remember it was Chris, I think, who was caught not following Intrusive Thoughts, which is egregious.
Why wouldn't you follow Intrusive Thoughts? Don't be an asshole.
Who now?
No, he said it was a glitch, but I believe him because sometimes that pre-launch will drop, and it's just like, who the hell is going to a pre-launch to unfollow? Like that's such a specific thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, You wouldn't back the campaign, you know what I'm saying? You might unfollow, but to go through all those extra steps. So, I mean, yeah, Chris is all right. I believe him.
Let me get this back up really quick.
I was also curious how you feel, Pat. Do you feel like there'd be a big difference between launching at like 8 a.m. Eastern versus 8 p.m. Eastern?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you launch at 8 p.m., you're fucking yourself. That's the worst thing you could do, because that's going to count. Your first day metrics are so important, and that counts your first day as not 8 p.m. to the next 8 p.m. It counts 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. So that, like, I mean, that's real bad. Yeah.
Should I do 7 a.m.?
I do 10 a.m. You know, because that people are awake enough. You know, so that's 10 a.m. to essentially 11:59 p.m. That's the full day of people being awake. But yeah, launching 8 p.m. is wild. But as long as it's morning, I'd say you're fine. Even 12 p.m. is fine.
I'm glad we had the conversation. I was going to do a live stream, like a launch party.
Yeah.
And I thought I can get away with it, but I'm like super anxious right now. I'm crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're going to be fine. Just definitely don't do that. Because, I mean, here, marketing the way that you do can be very impactful, but on Kickstarter, nothing beats on platform marketing, you know? Oh, it's Chris's ass. Trending on Kickstarter and activating the algorithm is the number one best way to succeed. Getting those day one numbers. I mean, I'll tell you this. I talk about Kickstarter from a position where I feel like I know what I'm talking about, who also knows in a different way, very, very in depth, is Charlie Stickney. And Charlie has been able to pretty successfully look at my day ones, and just based on how important day one is, he's been able to predict within about 3,000 what I'll make on the final day.
Within 3,000.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
That's way more impressive when it's Pat numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Yeah, if Charlie can be like, Richard, within 3,000, you're going to make about $2,000. Thank you, Charles.
Well, Charles, like, you're not going to make any money on this.
Gentlemen, I have to now eat, walk a dog, and get back to work. Pat, I want to thank you for having me, and I want to thank the rest of you for listening to me for any length of time. Everybody have a really good one.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Man.
A pleasure.
Hey, Pat, no, I'm not telling you how to run your live, but you can throw our links in the chat.
Throw your links in the chat. Hold on. Let me see.
Pat, if you know how to make me mod, I can just do it. Make me a mod. Click my name.
I would like to do that instead. Yeah. How do I do that?
Pat, you got to get with the times, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta.
Here on my comment when I say hi, just right click my name.
Okay. Oh, bro, mute your shit though. You know, I hear me in me.
L mod.
Right click my name, Pat, and you can. There should be an option.
There's not an option. I give a star to you. There's put user in timeout and block user. Oh, probably if I go to YouTube, huh?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yes, correct.
Okay, already kind of fucking me up.
There's also the comments tab next to the private chat where you can just post it.
Is this how my mother used to feel when I tried to teach her how to save something to a disk?
I think it's how Pat feels whenever I ask for Kickstarter advice.
Boom. Armin is moderator. Boom. That's crazy that I did that.
Playing with fire.
Playing with fire, man.
I read the word Armin as moderator in an ancient prophecy once. Huh.
Here he goes. Oh yeah, he has a little tool next to his name.
He's giving an AI. He's giving an AI robot like control. This is like Terminator. Armin's Skynet at this point.
I mean, look at him though. You know, how is this guy moderator? Look at him. He looks like I don't know, like Energy Ghost Dumbledore. Look at him. It's
Energy Ghost.
Insane.
Here,
Why do you have a beard in this? Like you have a beard of like blue light. You don't even have a beard.
That's the cut. That is That is an intro. That is an
I don't ask questions. I only, you know what I'm saying?
This motherfucker is not a real person. I keep telling y'all. This is an AI designed to sell nude covers.
Lunar smoke. That's right. That's right.
All right, so here's what I'm. There we go. All right, this is the URL for Cerulean Dreams.
Yeah.
It finally works. Also, Armin, please throw in Charlie McKelvey's as well, because he put his, but it wouldn't let him do it. So Armin put his next, of course. That makes 100% sense.
10K. God damn.
This is Lunar Smoke. I'm going to leave it up for a while so you guys can type it in.
Actually, they can just click it too.
All these are worth tagging. Yeah. If you're watching live, you can go in the comments and click that. But I want to say all these campaigns are worth backing. Of course, mine especially, you know. But each of these are so different. Each has such a cool and unique vibe. We really run the gamut of what you can get out of comics with these 4 campaigns. And with Charlie's 5 campaigns. This is Richard's campaign, and we have Stokes coming up in a second as well. And I believe we're all going to be live together, right? We're all going to overlap here.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing. Hey, Armin, do you like rap music?
Do I like rap music? I like all music.
You saw he never answers my question.
Are we gonna be rapping? We're gonna be rapping?
No, what I want to do, and I'm formally inviting Pat, and then I think I'm gonna invite Charlie McKelvey as well. But I wanted to do like I've been talking about this for a while. Like we can do a tournament to see who's the GOAT rapper, and then we can all it's gonna be 5 of us, and then we can kind of go, and then we can all it's a good way to get all the campaigns out the way as well. We can do some cross promo and shit like that.
You want like a rap battle, or do you want me to, like verses?
That is not what I just described. Everybody else got that, what I was saying, right? It's like a tournament. So we pick a bunch of rappers that we think is the greatest, and then they go against each other, and then we'll crown a final rapper.
I have to say, I thought you meant what Armin said.
Yeah.
I can't explain
actually.
I can't fucking sell anything.
I still think you're joking by saying that what I said wasn't right.
I'm gonna watch this shit back. There's no way. There's no way. I said we're gonna. Okay. All right, fine. There's gonna be a tournament where we're judging mainstream rappers to see who's the GOAT, and it's gonna be a cool way to get.
There we go.
It's a cool way to get everybody involved. We can get like you, right, Charlie, Armin on there, and just get everything out the way.
I will do the other one. Me and Pat will go head to head.
You can do that.
Pat's pretty good at the freestyling. He could probably freestyle the plot for Cerulean Dreams right now.
Don't put me on the spot. If Armin and I went toe to toe as far as bars go, I beat you. I beat you, Armin. I would.
Pat, you texted me something that was like I didn't even know what it meant. You were just like, I'm trying to shag you or something like that.
No, I did not say I want to shag you. What do you? That was Richard's text. Hold on.
You remember the word? You used some kind of wording about if we got into a fight, and I was like, I don't even know what this means.
Oh, let's look back. What
the fuck is going on?
You guys talk while I look for this shit.
Oh,
I got it. Bro.
That was fast. That was the shortest filibuster ever.
Bro, I said Armin said some bullshit, and I said I could still mash on you. That's right. I mean, that's pretty clear.
I still to this day never knew what he meant by that. We just went along in the conversation like it never happened.
I'm mash on
you. Beat him, beat him and smush him.
Yeah.
Oh, like mashed potatoes? You're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Beat you into mashed potatoes, I guess.
Yeah.
Like as in like how they said in the 50s, you'd send someone a mash note.
I don't know about that one, but maybe.
What are we doing, bro? What are we doing?
All right. All right. That's everyone's Kickstarters. does anyone
All right,
have
guys, hold up.
Yeah.
Let me get your feedback. See if you think this could be a cool idea.
Okay.
All right. So Pat knows I'm a flat earther.
Here we go. Here we go,
I'm a
dude.
conspiracy dude. I'm a conspiracy dude.
Just hold on, Chris.
And
just watch out now, Chris.
What?
just watch out now.
Yeah. All right. So, I've been like writing some little stories and stuff lately and whatnot, and building up some characters.
Yeah.
And building up like a realm, and I'm getting like really excited about it and whatnot.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's let me know if you guys think it could be a cool. I'm mixing like my reality with a bunch of fantasies and a bunch of mythologies, and I don't know. I just been getting real excited. And here's like a little like plot synopsis type of thing. I want to get you guys' feedback if you think it could be a cool idea or.
Well, hold on. Before you do it, do you want to do it on live? Because this is an idea of yours. Or do you want to do it off live with us here?
Nah, I'm cool with it being live.
Okay.
Yeah. So here goes nothing. Let me see. Let me know if you guys think it could be a cool story. The Adventures of Smiley Chris in Terra Plano. And and Terra Plano basically means flat Earth. So that's like the universe I'm working with. And it's basically here we go. Is a thrilling and sensual journey through the uncharted territories of the known world. Like the area that we're in is the known world. Our hero, Smiley Chris, sets out on a quest to uncover the truth about his grandfather, Admiral Byrd, who was a real explorer back in the day. And he explored Antarctica, and there's a lot of myths about him. And he went over the North Pole, and there's a lot of cool, interesting stories. They could be fake, they could be real, who knows? So uncover the truth about his grandfather's legendary adventures, only to discover a hidden world of beauty, danger, and love beyond the ice ring. So the ice ring is surrounding the known world where Smiley Chris and his friends live. And so here we go. Along the way, he and his companions, Pat and Twan, are guided by the seductive and powerful mermaids Diana and Selena, who lead them on a journey through the kingdom of Atlantis, the seven-headed dragon's lair, and the Rainbow Valley.
With Pat
as they navigate.
One mic.
I got Pat hooking up with mermaids and shit. And Twan hooking up with as they navigate through the new world. Smiley Chris finds himself falling for the beautiful and mysterious Princess Lilu. But their love is put to the test when they are confronted by the evil warlock Goliath and the Ice Queen Karen, who will stop at nothing to keep them from uncovering the secrets of Terra Plano. Will Smiley Chris and his companions succeed in their quest, or will they be defeated by the forces of darkness? The Adventures of Smiley Chris and Terra Plano is a high-stakes tale of adventure, love, and betrayal that will keep you on the edge of your seat from beginning to end. And like it starts out with my grandma on her deathbed telling me the truth about grandpa, and like the stories were real. And I just been like churning out little stories about the different characters and stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, you have your first comment here. Brian Cruz says you had me at horny mermaids.
They're real seductive and whatnot.
Yeah, when you said sensual, you meant sensual. All right, so just off rip, my initial thought is that the fantasy stuff sounds cool. I will say, just when you say the flat Earth shit, you're gonna scare like 99.9% of people off. So just hold back on that.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a fantasy world, so
Right. No,
that is definitely a fantasy.
Yeah, 100%. I would say for sure.
And it's kind of hidden in the word Terra Plano, like people might not get it, at first.
I would say
so it's like also a passion project to me to kind of get some of my beliefs out there, also mixing in, all the fantasy I want, which is cool.
I would say lean into the fantasy as much as possible there. Yeah, just like leading with like the whole like I'm a flat earther thing is for sure scare everybody,
Yeah.
I have one thing to say. if you're gonna lean into the flat Earth stuff, even within the fantasy, you probably can't talk about your grandfather crossing the North Pole because that sort of goes against the flat Earth of it all.
Not the North Pole. The North Pole, we're cool with the North Pole. It's the South. That's the ring.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So the North Pole is cool. So we go around the North Pole like a compass.
An easy workaround would be that if Smiley Chris tried to go on the same quest that his grandfather went on, and by crossing the North Pole came across.
Yeah, we go through the Doobie and Pat. We do the South, the South Pole
of the flat Earth. Like if essentially it's sort of like the flat Earth is the other side of our Earth.
The whole thing is behind the ring. We believe like there's a ring around everything, like Antarctica. You go south, you're gonna hit Antarctica. It's like a big ring.
What I'm saying is that you can build in kind of a portal to it so that you can soften the blow of that the marketing nightmare of going out and saying I'm a flat earther, here's my flat earth.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have, it doesn't have to be mentioned.
Yeah, so
it's just
if you build into the story that like crossing the North Pole is the entrance to Terra Plano, it gives you a way to like fully live in that world as part of the uncovered secret. The other thing is, if you're gonna do stories about Pat with sexy mermaids and you expect to be the first one on the internet to do it, you're gonna have to develop a time machine.
I like the idea.
The more that you lean into the fantasy of it, I think that's gonna. Because I mean, the truth is like, no matter what you believe, when you're building fantasy, you can make it nuanced and subtle, And I think that a lot of the elements that you spoke about are marketable. So I just wouldn't take away from their marketability by introducing an element that is immediately going to be seen as not marketable,
That makes sense. But like in my mind, it doesn't really even have to like mention it at all. It's just like there secretly. It's there like secretly.
Yeah.
Same thing like with the realms that I want to talk about. Agartha is an underground realm that's a conspiracy type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's like what people might say was under the North Pole or in Antarctica or whatever.
Yeah.
Atlantis, that's another one. Tartaria is where the Goliath one-eyed warlock's from, destroying the kingdom, and Smiley Chris saves the princess and all this cool stuff.
Oh, that's one thing.
It's not just like basic Mario. It's like also I'm incorporating some of the interesting, weird shit that I believe in into it.
That's one thing I would as far as the title, I think that a title like The Adventures of that part kind of like sets the expectation of like a more like kid-friendly style book, like The Adventures of, where it seems like it could be a bit more like adult fantasy,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
My only addition is you have to add in a squire character to Pat's knight. You know what I'm saying? That's my only note.
Well, we have Tuan there, and Tuan saves him from. Tuan saves Anthony from a siren. Pat's chilling with a sea nymph.
Yeah.
I wrote this today. Pat was talking to a sea nymph, and Anthony and Serena, one of the mermaids, come and cut off the siren's tentacles. After it's wild shit, but it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah,
I'm just doing this while I'm at work. I'm writing these little stories while I'm at work because I got a little free time, and it's fun as hell.
I was basically saying I want to be the squire. You have to add me as the squire.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we can get you in there too.
But I mean, I was down with it. I was down with the story. So
it's funny too. Chris, I'll send you the outline that I did. I also have a book where I have some people that as characters. So yeah, no.
You mean the continuity?
Well, no. Some actual people like Tuan. Has an appearance in this upcoming comedy horror that I'm doing. I'll send it over to you. So yeah, as a writer, I have.
Tuan, you gotta hook me up too with some PDFs on that, so I could,
Yeah, no,
under the table too. Yeah,
I want you to read this shit. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, now they got the little extra time. I want to really delve in.
Brian definitely likes your horny mermaids, though.
Hey, I got a backer right there. Possibly in the future. Who knows?
There we go. All right, so we got everyone's Kickstarters up. Those are in the comments from Armin, the moderator. We have on the Kickstarter, we have Cindy Law's new variant cover. This is add-on only. If you won, congratulations. We had 6 winners. I threw 1 extra in there. The panel voted. Patrick and Chris voted to have a Kickstarter backer and an extra one win a copy. Armin voted pure hater. He said enough free shit. I mean, bro, when I said I was giving the book away, Armin said, "What do you mean?" So yeah, this cover is going to be printed in the Virgin style with no logo. I will say I made reference to this before on Kickstarter. No, on this stream talking to Patrick. Just a little side story. People on Kickstarter who create projects sometimes worry when they get rejected by Kickstarter or feedback, and for good reason. But I always say, advocate for yourself. Go to the comics rep Oriana if you feel that you aren't getting the proper feedback. When I launched Black Mask's campaign, it was their first campaign. And because Black Mask is an established publisher, we thought, oh, there's an easy path to approval here. No, that was the hardest campaign we ever had to get approved, including all my own. And figuring out why was very difficult because Kickstarter had such a crazy note. And I feel weird even talking about this because it's such an off-base note. But there was a cover by an artist, Lyrics, and the cover was of a woman holding a camera. And Kickstarter's feedback was, this can't be approved because this cover specifically designates this woman as underage. And I was looking at it, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? You know, so Black Mask and I, we're just combing through. We brought Oriana in, and she said the problem is that they read the campaign and the cover is designated as a virgin cover, which means for comics, the audience, that it has no logo. And that has been a phrase in use for a long, long time now, that it has no markup on the cover, but Kickstarter interpreted that in the absolute most negative way possible. And Oriana had to kind of advocate for us because she has experience in comics. So when she found it out, she was like, oh my God, they just don't understand because they're tech guys. They don't know the terminology. So she went to them and explained. So every time I introduce a cover that has no logo, I always make sure to say also no logo, just so they know what I mean there, you know. That was a nightmare, you know.
There are 20-year-old virgins out there. I want to say that, Pat. You know
or 30-year-old virgins.
I mean, it's true. I will say take it easy, you know. But I actually I won't say who it was, but I had a buddy of mine, Chris knows, who he was stalwart in waiting for marriage, and he was a lifelong friend, close to my age, got married last year, you know. So a true trooper, couldn't be me, but definitely a trooper. But no, yeah. So this cover is logo free. You can get it on the Kickstarter now. Those who got it for free, that is 6 lucky backers. But this one is now $30 online. And it's going to be limited to whoever gets it during the campaign. Might have a few extra ones during conventions this year, but this will not be sold on other Kickstarters. It's a specialty cover for this campaign. It is one of my favorites that we've done. I think that Cindy's work is absolutely incredible. She is now working on other covers and trading cards featuring other characters. I mean, actually, I just like it so much. I'll debut one more Cindy image here today. Do I have this downloaded? I will go and get it right now. While I get this, does anyone have any closing thoughts before we pop out of here?
You want to do a space?
I
was gonna take. I want to do a quick space after this.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I'll be in the space. For those who follow this stream right now who don't know, Spaces on Twitter. Just if you follow any of us on Twitter, my ad is Pat Chand. While we're in the space, if you log in, you'll see us in a circle on Twitter up top, and you can pop in there and join the space.
Nice.
And Stokes, you'll be hosting that?
Yeah, man. I'm about to. Yeah, I'll start it now.
All right, everyone follow Stokes. That's Stokes the writer
Yeah.
on Twitter.
All right, guys, here's a little poem for Space Between.
A poem? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
The space between, a place of rest, a time to pause, to take a breath, a chance to regroup, to clear the mind, to find a balance, to be aligned. It's not a void, it's full of potential, a place to dream, to be essential, to who we are, to what we do. It's our foundation, it's the glue. The space between, it's not just air, it's where we grow, it's where we bear. The fruits of life, the seeds we sow, it's where we flourish, it's where we go. So let us not fear the space between, but embrace it and make it our queen. It's the heartbeat, the rhythm of life. It's the ultimate balance and the ultimate strife. The
Nice.
space between.
I mean, thank you so much. That's sick.
I mean, take that, Dave Matthews.
Thanks, man. That's cool that you were thinking about it. We have a comment from Fred Henderson. Did you already know who won the covers? Yes. In fact, I did that. If you look at the timestamp, I went live at 9:32, I think, and announced it. I believe 8:32, and then 8:40 is when I announced. So if you go in about like 8 minutes in, you should see the backer numbers, and you can find your own backer number on your receipt through your email. And if you did win, I have already reached out through messaging. And I'll be posting an update after this live stream with information about how to claim it if you won and all that stuff. And we have one more comment here from Brian Stewart saying, cover art free of trade dressing logos. Virgin outside of our niche comic arena is easy to understand their misunderstanding. It's true. It's true. As soon as it was made clear that Oriana found the root of what had happened, we understood. It just getting there was kind of an issue. Now I'm going to show one last thing, and this will be very brief as well. Because we're in a Cindy stream, I'm going to show Cindy's cover. No, not cover. This is Cindy's card.
That's awesome.
Zenescope New Orleans VIP.
Nice.
This is our character Meadow from Destiny New York cosplaying as Zenescope's Mystere in New Orleans. It's going to be holographic, beautiful. This is the 34th of 36 cards in Destiny New York promo set 1 called Destiny's Collide. This is going to be available in March is when I believe the show is. If that's wrong, I'm sorry. It's either March or April. This is our second to last convention promo before our second set starts. So 2 great Cindy images to show today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pat, who's coming to New Orleans?
That one is not a Pat Shan show, so they're flying me out. For that
who's flying out?
Zenescope, yeah.
Oh wow, cool. Nice.
Yeah, that's their show. That's the Zenescope VIP shows are essentially small conventions for Zenescope fans only. They have a VIP program where people subscribe to certain series and covers, and yeah, those are so sick. I did one in Philly, and it was incredible. Working with them for so many years has always been cool, seeing the community building. But then, bro, going there and seeing a company that I've worked with for so many years, who people do kind of like the larger mainstream comics industry doesn't really see the vision sometimes of Zenescope. So going there and seeing how many fans do was really cool. It was a packed museum full of Zenescope fans. It was so sick. And this is going to be the same thing in New Orleans. I can't wait. And for those who can't make it to the show, though, this specific card is going to be on the Space Between Etsy while I'm at the show, and probably for about a week or 2 weeks after, depending on how many cons I do that month. But yeah, so this is our second Cindy image to show. I'll probably put this on Twitter for those who missed the stream. But again, that you guys, Stokes, Patrick, Charlie in the comments, Chris, Richard, Armin. Armin's Twitter, not Twitter. His handle is full responsibility of Cindy's find. Yeah, you are a terrific talent scout, Armin. Shannon in the comments, she is our editor in chief. Thank you so much for popping in, Shannon. You can find us on more Space Between Kickstarters, live streams, and vlogs coming soon. We have our vlog from the New Year's party live right now at Chris's house. Chris, Richard, Armin, any final words here?
No, I was just thinking how all the Robin Hood fans that are coming to the Xenoscope conference, they probably all read you. You know, that's pretty cool.
No, it's
thinking that, you know. So you might have a big line for the autographs still, even though that's been many years since the Robin Hood ones.
Oh yeah, I mean,
especially if they're still making them. You know, people probably all read the origin ones.
They bring in these long boxes of comics, and I'll be signing things that I wrote 10, 12 years ago. It's so
cool.
Yeah,
good stuff.
I guess my big takeaway from the stream is, now that Stokes isn't here, we should really strategize for this rap battle that we're all going to be in.
Yeah, I mean, when Stokes said it, I was like, yeah, I'm down. But
I would like it to be noted that my name was not mentioned once by him. He was like, nah, Richard can't. Richard's not going to do that.
I mean, I kind of want to hear it now. If Stokes doesn't do this, I feel like we should do this. You know,
we're gonna. I already told you we're doing it. You know, he said no. I'm
Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting there on like rhyme.com figuring it out.
All right.
Is it prepared or is it freestyle?
I think like now freestyles are all just pre-writtens anyway.
Okay. All right, pre-written's allowed. We will come up with something, and it has to both incorporate our book and also diss everybody else in the panel.
Okay.
Can I just do that in regular dialogue? Because I kind of do.
Hey, why not?
I think so, yeah.
As long as you do it to a beat.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Have a good one, guys.
Hey, guys.